Have you ever felt like you were screaming in a deaf world? That your presence was as invisible as air? That nobody truly saw you? I know you know that feeling. That moment when you're in a room full of people, but it's like you don't exist. Your achievements were ignored, your words interrupted, your effort reduced to dust. Have you ever felt that nobody understands you? And the worst part wasn't just that. The worst part was when you started believing that maybe you deserved to be invisible. The hidden truth is crueler than you imagine. While you were bleeding inside, while you carried a weight that nobody wanted to see, they knew. They noticed your pain, but they chose to pretend they didn't see it. Because your pain will turn into strength, and that scared them. Because while you were broken, they felt whole. While you were on the ground, they could feel on top. And this is a truth that nobody wants you to discover. Some people need you to fail so they can feel good about themselves. You trusted the wrong people. Those who said they cared were the first to celebrate when you stumbled. You disrupt the system when you decide to rise. The comments disguised as concern, the muffled laughs that gleam in their eyes when you didn't make it. You felt it, didn't you? That chill down your spine, that feeling of betrayal you tried to ignore. But your body knew. Your instinct screamed. Some around you didn't want to see you improve. They wanted to see you small. And why? Because you weren't born to please. Because when you're down, they can look down and feel superior. They will never understand you. Because understanding you would mean admitting they failed to support you. It would mean looking at their own reflection and seeing the mediocrity they tried to project onto you. So it was easier to keep you there, broken, weak, dependent. Easier than admitting they had fear of the unknown you could become. But then that day came. You remember, don't you? The day you hit rock bottom. When there were no more tears, no more excuses, no more strength to pretend everything was fine. You were alone in the dark, with nobody to lift you up. It was there in that abyss that something inside you refused to die. A spark, a silent rage, an inner strength you didn't even know existed. And you had to choose, give up and prove everyone was right, or awaken to something greater. Nobody wants you to know this. Rock bottom isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's where the monster is born. It's where you discover that pain can be the most powerful fuel that exists. I challenge you not to feel anything when you see this. You were broken, but not dead. And that difference is everything. Because while you were breathing, there was power. While your heart was beating, there was resistance. And it was exactly there, in that moment of transformation, that you decided this wouldn't be how your story ended. So you did something they never expected. You stopped talking. You stopped explaining. You stopped justifying yourself. Stopped seeking approval. You simply disappeared. You turned off the phone, closed the doors, cut everything that drained you, and that confused them. They expected drama. They expected you to beg for attention. But you became silence. Authenticity doesn't need an audience. Freedom doesn't need permission. And you understood that the hardest way possible. Nobody saw the nights you spent alone. The early mornings when you rebuilt every broken piece of yourself. The moments when you looked in the mirror and barely recognized who was there. Only the strong resist what you went through. You trained in the darkness. You bled in silence. You transformed yourself where nobody could see. And it was exactly there that you became dangerous. Because true power isn't the one that screams. It's the one that builds itself in silence and explodes when nobody expects. The changes started subtle. Your posture was different. Your gaze, more firm. Your energy, more contained and lethal. And they noticed. Show who you are without needing to say a word. The comments began. You're different. What happened to you? But you gave no explanations, because your transformation didn't need narrative. It spoke for itself, and you saw the discomfort grow on their faces. The fear, the confusion, the slow realization that you are no longer controllable. They will try to stop you. That's guaranteed, because now you're shining, and you know what's most interesting. They're not happy for you. They're uncomfortable. Your success isn't a reason for celebration for them. It's a silent accusation. You disrupt the system because you proved they were wrong. You shouldn't have made it. You should have stayed where they placed you, underneath, controlled, predictable. But you rose, and every step you climb is a painful reminder of how much they doubted. The truth hurts, doesn't it? Nothing hurts certain people more than seeing you achieve exactly what they swore you'd never have. And here's the pattern break that will change everything. They came back. The messages appeared out of nowhere. Miss you. You were always special. Sorry for not being there. Do it differently. See through the mask. It's not love. It's need. They need your light to disguise their darkness. They want access to your energy now that you rebuilt yourself alone. But you learned something they'll never understand. Courage isn't forgiving those who hurt you. Courage is protecting your peace at any cost. You're no longer that person who accepted crumbs of affection. You're the monster they created by trying to destroy you. Rebel by nature, you carry scars nobody sees. But that made you unbreakable. And the scariest truth of all, you don't seek revenge. You simply keep rising, indifferent to the opinions that once tore you apart. Your overcoming is the perfect revenge. Your happiness, your genuine smile, your success built on top of the pain they tried to cause you. This corrodes them inside more than any bitter word. Wake up to life. You discovered that nothing hurts more than being fully happy without the people who said you wouldn't make it. And the best part, you don't even need to look back. You're too busy breaking limits, too busy being the most powerful version of yourself. You won, but you also lost something, and you know it. Innocence, the ability to trust easily, the version of you that believed in people without fear. You carry invisible scars that nobody sees, but you also carry something more valuable, the absolute certainty that you can survive hell. And when you look in the mirror now, you don't see weakness. You see power. You see resistance. You see someone the world tried to erase, but who shone even brighter. Comment if you've lived through something like this, because now you understand. The real victory isn't proving anything to them. It's discovering that you always had this power inside you. You weren't the same after that silence settled in. Something inside you shifted. The anger wasn't loud anymore. It became cold, calculated, focused. You discovered that true power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need validation or applause. It builds itself in the shadows, piece by piece, breath by breath. While they were busy gossiping about where you went, you were becoming someone they couldn't recognize, someone they couldn't control. Those lonely nights weren't wasted. Every single hour you spent alone was an investment. You were shedding the old skin, the weak version that cared too much about what they thought. The hidden truth is this: transformation happens in isolation. Break limits when nobody's watching. The real work, the deep transformation, the kind that changes everything, it doesn't happen on stage. It happens in the 4 a.m. darkness when you're the only one awake, fighting demons nobody else can see. You trained your mind like a weapon, cut out the noise, the toxic voices, the people who drained your energy just by existing near you. Stop seeking approval from those who never deserved to give it in the first place. You learned that freedom isn't something you ask for, it's something you take. Authenticity means being willing to walk alone. And you walked, through the fire, through the doubt, through the nights when every cell in your body screamed to give up. But you didn't. The monster was being forged, not the villain they wanted you to become, but something far more dangerous. Someone who understood pain and chose strength anyway. Someone who stared into the abyss and instead of blinking, smiled back. You disrupt the system simply by refusing to stay broken. The world expects you to fold, to beg, to come crawling back. But you did something they never planned for. You became unbreakable. Your body changed. Your mind sharpened. Your energy shifted from desperate to dangerous. Resistance became your default setting. Where you once bent, you now stood firm. Where you once apologized for existing, you now showed who you are without explanation. This wasn't arrogance. This was survival evolution. This was the awakening of someone who finally understood that the only permission you need is your own. And here's what they didn't tell you. Your pain will turn into strength, but not the kind they expect. Not the motivational poster kind, the raw, primal, unstoppable kind. The kind that doesn't make speeches, it makes moves. Only the strong resist what you've been through. Most people would have quit at chapter 2. You're writing chapter 10. You're writing the part where the underdog becomes the force they can't ignore. The physical changes were just the surface. Your voice became steadier, your walk more deliberate, your eyes colder but somehow more alive. People started noticing something was different. They couldn't name it, but they felt it. That energy shift, that quiet confidence, that inner strength radiating from someone who's been to hell and brought back fire. They will try to stop you. They always do, because your evolution threatens their comfort. Your transformation exposes their stagnation. You weren't asking for their opinion anymore. You stopped waiting for permission to become who you needed to be. Do it differently. Ignore the playbook they gave you, the one that keeps you small, keeps you grateful for scraps, keeps you playing a game rigged against you. Courage is rewriting the rules in your own blood. Rebel by nature, you started creating your own path. Not because you wanted to be difficult, because you refused to die trying to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. The power you built in silence became louder than any words. Actions replaced explanations. Results replaced excuses. Overcoming became your daily practice, not some distant goal. You woke up every day knowing that the person you were yesterday couldn't handle what you're facing tomorrow. So you kept evolving, kept pushing, kept breaking limits that others said were permanent, what they called impossible. You called Tuesday. Wake up to life. Not the sanitized version they sell you. The raw, unfiltered, bloody reality where transformation costs everything but gives you yourself back. You realize something profound. They can't break what they didn't build. You built yourself in the darkness, in the silence, in the moments when nobody believed in you. And what you built is yours, unbreakable, undeniable, unstoppable. The monster isn't something to fear. It's something to become. Your presence now carries weight. When you enter a room, energy shifts. Not because you're trying, because you are. Authenticity can't be faked, and yours was forged in fire. People who once dismissed you now watch carefully. Those who laughed now go quiet. Not from fear, though that's there too. From recognition. They see someone who refused to stay down. Someone who turned pain into power. Someone dangerous in the best possible way. The old you would have celebrated this moment, would have sought their validation. Look at me now. But the new you don't need their approval. The truth hurts them more than anything you could say. Your silence speaks volumes. Your success screams what your words never could. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're simply living, thriving, becoming, and that terrifies them. Because if you could do it, what excuse do they have? Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. But here's the twist. You're not their monster. You're your own creation. You're the awakening they never saw coming. The resistance they couldn't crush. The truth they tried to bury. And now you stand here, not seeking revenge, not needing closure, just existing in your power. Comment if you understand this feeling. Because once you cross this threshold, there's no going back. And you wouldn't want to anyway. You discovered the ultimate hidden truth. They needed you weak more than you needed them strong. Your brokenness validated their mediocrity. Your struggle justified their comfort. But your transformation, that changed everything. Now they have to confront what they could have been if they had your courage, if they had your strength, if they had chosen growth over comfort. But they didn't. And that's not your problem anymore. That's their prison. You're free. The first cracks appeared when you least expected them. You were going about your day, minding your own business, when suddenly you noticed it. The double takes, the confused looks, the way conversations shifted when you walked into the room. They sensed something changed, but they couldn't name it yet. Your energy was different, heavier, more controlled, like a storm that learned patience. Inner strength doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It whispers. It shows up in the way you hold eye contact a second longer than before, in the way you don't rush to fill uncomfortable silences anymore, in the way your no became a complete sentence, and that made them nervous. Because the version of you they knew was gone. The people pleaser, the apologizer, the one who shrunk to make others comfortable. You weren't born to please anyone but yourself. And when you finally understood that, everything shifted. The ground beneath their feet became unstable because you were no longer predictable. They tried to figure it out. What happened to you? You've changed. You're not the same person anymore. And you smiled because they were right. You weren't the same. Transformation doesn't give you back who you were. It gives you who you were always meant to be. Stronger, sharper, unbreakable. The hidden truth is that people don't really want you to change. They want you to stay exactly where they put you. In the box, in the role, in the story they wrote about you. But you tore up the script, break limits that they set for you. You started writing your own story, and that terrified them more than anything. Your voice carried power now. Not loud, not aggressive, just certain. When you spoke, people listened, not because you demanded attention, but because your words had weight. They came from someone who survived, someone who walked through fire and came out forged instead of burned. Only the strong resist that kind of transformation. The physical changes were undeniable. Your posture straightened. Your shoulders relaxed but carried confidence. You moved differently through the world, less rushed, more deliberate, like someone who knows exactly where they're going and doesn't need anyone's permission to get there. Show who you are without saying a word. But the mental shift? That was the real awakening. You stopped caring about their narrative, stopped trying to control what they thought. Let them talk. Let them speculate. Let them create theories about your transformation. Meanwhile, you were busy becoming someone they could never imagine you'd be. Authenticity doesn't defend itself. It simply exists. They will try to stop you now. Not with direct confrontation. They're smarter than that. They'll use concern. Are you okay? This doesn't seem like you. I'm worried about you. But you see through it. You understand that their worry isn't about your well-being. It's about their fear of the unknown version of you that they can't control. Some will try a different approach. They'll attempt to pull you back with nostalgia. Remember when we used to? You were so much more fun before. I miss the old you. And here's what they'll never understand. The old you was dying. The old you was suffocating under expectations that weren't yours. The old you needed to die so the real you could breathe. Your pain will turn into strength, but not the Instagram quote kind. The real, lived, earned kind. The kind that doesn't need validation because it validated itself through surviving. Every scar is proof. Every hard-won lesson is armor. Every moment you thought you couldn't go on but did anyway. That's power they can never take from you. You started making decisions faster. No more endless deliberation. No more seeking consensus. You learned to trust your gut, that primal instinct they tried to talk you out of. Courage isn't fearlessness. It's feeling the fear and moving anyway. It's knowing something might hurt and choosing it because the alternative, staying small, hurts more. The truth hurts them more than you now. Your existence became a mirror. Every time they see you thriving, they're forced to confront what they could have been if they had your resistance, if they had chosen growth over comfort, if they had been willing to become the monster necessary for transformation. And the most interesting part? You're not even doing it for them anymore. You're not trying to prove anything. You disrupt the system simply by being yourself. Your freedom isn't a statement. It's a state of being. You're thriving because that's what you do now. Not because of them, not in spite of them. Completely independent of their existence. Now the real discomfort set in for them, and you felt it, didn't you? That shift in the air when you walked into a space, the way conversations stuttered, the way eyes avoided yours or locked on too long, trying to figure you out. You disrupt the system just by existing now, and that makes people uncomfortable. Because comfortable people don't like being reminded that change is possible. Your success wasn't loud. It wasn't announced on social media with perfectly curated posts. It was quiet, steady, undeniable. You were building something real while they were busy performing for an audience. Authenticity doesn't need a stage. It builds empires in basements, in early mornings, in moments nobody sees. And when the results started showing, they couldn't ignore it anymore. You were thriving, and it was messing with their entire worldview. The truth hurts more than any insult ever could, because your existence became proof. Proof that they were wrong about you. Proof that their doubts were projections of their own limitations. Proof that you didn't need their permission, their approval, their validation to become exactly who you were meant to be. Every win you achieved was a silent indictment of every time they told you that you couldn't. And here's where it gets interesting. They weren't celebrating with you. They should have been, right? If they really cared. If they really were the friends or family or supporters they claimed to be. Your transformation should have made them happy. But it didn't. It made them resentful, bitter, confused. Because in their minds, you succeeding meant they were failing. Your light made their shadows more visible. Never will they understand you because understanding requires empathy, and empathy requires them to admit they were wrong. Wrong about your potential, wrong about your strength, wrong about who you really were beneath the broken exterior they helped create. That admission would cost them too much. So instead, they chose denial. They chose to rewrite the narrative, to minimize your achievements, to find excuses. You got lucky. It's not sustainable. Wait until reality hits. These were their new mantras. They will try to stop you not with direct confrontation anymore, because you're too strong for that now. They'll use subtle poison, doubt disguised as concern, criticism wrapped in constructive feedback, attempts to pull you back into the crabs in a bucket mentality that kept them trapped. But you see through it now. You recognize the fear of the unknown in their eyes. The hidden truth they don't want you to realize is this: your success is more threatening to them than your failure ever was. When you were down, they could help. They could feel superior, needed, important. But now that you're up, now that you're thriving without them, they're forced to confront an uncomfortable reality. They're not necessary. You don't need them, and that terrifies them more than anything. Watch their faces when you share good news. Really watch. You'll see it flash across their expressions before they remember to smile. That micro moment of disappointment, of frustration, of envy. Your pain will turn into strength, and they hoped it would turn into permanent defeat instead. They invested in your failure, and now that investment isn't paying off. They're losing, and you're not even playing their game anymore. Some of them will try a different tactic. They'll attempt to take credit. I always knew you could do it. I always believed in you. Suddenly they're rewriting history, claiming they were in your corner all along. Do it differently than what they expect. Don't argue. Don't correct them. Just smile. Let them have their delusion, because you know the truth. You know who was there. You know who showed up, and they weren't on that list. Resistance became your default setting, and it shows. You don't fold under pressure anymore. You don't second-guess yourself into paralysis. You make decisions and stand by them. Courage isn't something you practice. It's something you embody. And that makes you dangerous to people who profit from others. Indecision and fear. You're the example they don't want their own excuses to see. Your power is in your peace, in your refusal to engage with their negativity, in your ability to keep climbing while they're busy analyzing why you're succeeding. Only the strong resist the urge to prove themselves to people who will never be satisfied with any proof. You stopped performing for their approval. You started living for your own freedom. And that shift changed everything. Show who you are through results, not explanations. Let your life speak. Let your transformation be the evidence. Let your happiness be the testimony. Because nothing, absolutely nothing, breaks them more than watching you thrive. It destroys their carefully constructed narrative about who you were supposed to be. It shatters their comfort in their own mediocrity. It forces them to ask questions they don't want to answer. And you're just getting started. This isn't the peak. This is the foundation. You built yourself in the darkness, and now you're operating in the light with the same intensity, the same focus, the same relentless drive. Break limits that they swore were permanent. Awaken to levels of success they said were impossible for someone like you. Prove, every single day, that the only opinion that ever mattered was your own. Comment if this resonates with you. Because if you've felt this, if you've lived this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The sweet, silent justice of thriving while they expected you to barely survive. The monster they created by trying to destroy you is now unstoppable, and they're realizing too late that they should have supported you when they had the chance. Then they came back, and you knew they would, didn't you? The same people who disappeared when you needed them most. The ones who watched you fall and did nothing. Suddenly, out of nowhere, your phone started buzzing. Messages appeared like ghosts from a past you'd buried. Hey stranger, it's been too long. We should catch up. Like nothing ever happened. Like they didn't abandon you in your darkest hour. The hidden truth reveals itself in these moments. They didn't miss you. They missed access to you. You disrupt the system when you rise without them, and now they want back in. Not because they care, because they need something. Your energy, your connections, your newfound power. They smell success on you like sharks smell blood in water, and suddenly you're interesting again. Suddenly you're worth their time. But you're not the same person who would have welcomed them back with open arms. Transformation changed more than your circumstances. It changed your standards, your boundaries, your understanding of what real loyalty looks like. You remember who held your hand in the darkness? You remember who showed up when showing up wasn't convenient. And these people, they weren't on that list. Never will they understand the betrayal of fair weather friendship. Watch how they spin it. I was giving you space. I've been so busy. I thought about reaching out so many times. Excuses wrapped in concern. The truth hurts, so they avoid it. They didn't think you'd make it. They wrote you off. They counted you out. And now that you've proven them catastrophically wrong, they're scrambling to rewrite history, to pretend they were always in your corner. Rebel by nature, you see through the performance. Some will be more direct about it. They'll try to take credit for your transformation. Remember when I told you that you could do it? No, actually. You remember them telling you to be realistic, to lower your expectations, to accept your limitations. But now that you've shattered every ceiling they tried to build over your head, suddenly they're your biggest supporters. Do it differently. Don't argue, don't correct. Just smile and keep moving. Others will play the guilt card. I thought we were friends. You've changed. Success has gone to your head. They'll try to make you feel bad for evolving, for outgrowing spaces that were suffocating you, for choosing your peace over their comfort. You weren't born to please people who only liked you when you were beneath them. Authenticity means accepting that some relationships have expiration dates, and these expired long ago. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. That monster is you. The version of yourself that learned to thrive without validation, without support, without the people who claimed they'd always be there. You built this on your own. Every brick, every beam, every foundation stone was laid by your hands alone. And now they want to walk through the door like they helped build the house. Courage is saying no to people you once would have begged to stay. The manipulation gets more sophisticated as they realize you're not biting. They'll use nostalgia. Remember when we used to? They'll weaponize shared memories, trying to make you feel obligated to let them back in. But awakening means seeing the difference between who people were and who they are, between what you shared then and what they're offering now. Memories don't entitle anyone to your future. Stop seeking approval from people whose approval means nothing anymore. Some will try to make you the villain. They'll tell mutual friends that you've become cold, distant, that success changed you. And you know what? Let them. Show who you are through your actions, not through defending yourself to people who've already decided their narrative. Yes, you changed. You had to. The old you wouldn't have survived what you went through. The old you was dying, suffocating, disappearing. This version thrives. They will try to stop you with emotional manipulation when direct approaches fail. Suddenly they're going through something. Suddenly they need you. Convenient timing, isn't it? Right when you're rising, they're falling. Fear of the unknown drives this desperation. They're scared that your transformation means they'll be left behind. And they're right to be scared, because you're not taking passengers anymore. You're not carrying dead weight. Only the strong resist the urge to save everyone, especially those who wouldn't save you. The most dangerous ones will mirror your language. They'll talk about transformation and growth and awakening. They'll use your words against you. I'm working on myself too. I'm on my own journey now. Suddenly they're evolved, enlightened, changed. But actions speak louder than carefully crafted messages. Where were they when you actually needed support? Where were they during your resistance? Nowhere. Because it wasn't convenient then. Your pain will turn into strength. And part of that strength is discernment. Knowing who deserves access to the new you. Knowing that forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You can forgive them for abandoning you without giving them another chance to do it again. Freedom includes the freedom to protect your energy from energy vampires, from users, from people who only show up when there's something in it for them. And here's what really breaks them. Your indifference, not hatred, not anger, not even sadness. Just complete, peaceful indifference. You're not bitter about them leaving. You're grateful. Because their absence forced you to find inner strength you didn't know existed. Their betrayal taught you who you really are. Their abandonment became the greatest gift they ever gave you. And now they're irrelevant. Not enemies, not friends, just strangers with shared history. The truth is, you don't need them. You proved that already. You climbed mountains alone. You fought battles with no backup. You built an empire with no help. And now they want to stand in the palace they refuse to help build. Break limits by understanding that not everyone who wants back in deserves to come back in. Comment if you've experienced this. Because this moment, this crossroads, defines whether your transformation is complete or just cosmetic. Will you let them back in? Or will you protect what you built? You accepted what you had become. And that acceptance was the most powerful transformation of all. You weren't trying to justify it anymore. Weren't apologizing for it. Weren't shrinking it to make others comfortable. You looked in the mirror and saw the monster they created, and you smiled. Because this monster was stronger, sharper, more focused than anything you'd been before. The hidden truth settled into your bones. They didn't break you. They revealed you. Every insult, every betrayal, every moment they tried to diminish you, it stripped away the weak parts. The parts that needed their validation, the parts that bent to keep peace. What remained was pure, distilled power, raw, unfiltered, unbreakable. You weren't born to please them, and you finally stopped trying. This version of you doesn't negotiate boundaries, doesn't explain choices, doesn't seek permission to exist at full volume. Authenticity at this level is terrifying to people who are still performing. They look at you and see someone who broke free from the invisible chains they're still wearing. Someone who chose freedom over fitting in. Someone who would rather be alone and whole than surrounded and fractured. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. But here's what they misunderstood. You're not their monster. You're not defined by their actions. You're defined by your resistance, by your refusal to stay down. By the way, you took every weapon they used against you and turned it into armor. Only the strong resist becoming bitter after that kind of betrayal. You became better instead. The anger transformed. It's not hot anymore, not reactive. It's cold, calculated, focused like a laser. You channel it into every goal, every achievement, every step forward. Your pain will turn into strength isn't a promise. It's a practice. Daily, relentless. You wake up and choose to turn that darkness into fuel, to let it drive you rather than destroy you. That's the difference between you and them. You carry yourself differently now. There's weight to your presence. Power that doesn't need to announce itself. People feel it when you walk into a room. The air changes. The energy shifts. You're not trying to be intimidating. You just are. Because you survived what would have destroyed most people. You walked through fire and came out forged. Show who you are without saying a word. Courage redefined itself in your life. It's not about big dramatic moments anymore. It's about the daily choice to keep going, to keep building, to keep thriving despite everything they did to stop you. Awakening happened when you realized that your success isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. About honoring the version of you that refused to give up in the darkness. You stopped explaining your decisions, stopped defending your choices, stopped caring if they understood. Break limits by accepting that some people will never get it. They can't. Because they've never been where you've been, haven't survived what you survived, haven't had to rebuild themselves from nothing while everyone watched and waited for them to fail. Never will they understand you, and that's fine now. The monster they feared wasn't evil. It was just awakened, conscious, aware of its own power. You're not seeking revenge because you don't need to. Your life, your happiness, your transformation, that's the revenge. Every day you thrive is a reminder of their mistake. Every goal you hit is proof they were wrong. Every smile you wear is evidence that you didn't need them to make it. The truth hurts more than any confrontation could. The truth that you're doing better without them. That you're happier alone than you ever were surrounded by fake support. That you built an empire on the foundation of their betrayal. They gave you nothing but pain, and you turned it into everything. That's the power they could never take from you. The ability to transmute suffering into strength. You disrupt the system just by existing now. By refusing to play victim. By choosing overcoming over bitterness. By becoming living proof that rock bottom can be a launch pad. Some people want you to stay broken because your brokenness validates their own limitations. But you refused. You chose evolution over comfort, transformation over stagnation, life over mere existence. And you know what's beautiful about this monster you've become. It's not cruel. It's not vindictive. It's just indifferent to their opinions. Freedom is realizing their thoughts about you don't matter anymore. Their judgment doesn't touch you. Their attempts to pull you back don't work. You're not the person they once knew. You're not even in the same universe anymore. You transcended. Rebel by nature. You created your own rules. Inner strength became your currency. The one thing nobody could steal, manipulate, or devalue. Every test you passed added to it. Every battle you won multiplied it. Every moment you chose yourself over their comfort increased it. Now it's unshakable. Now it's yours. Now it defines you more than anything they ever said or did. Comment if you felt this transformation. Now comes the sweetest part. The part they never saw coming. You thriving. Not just surviving, not just getting by, but actually thriving. Building. Creating. Succeeding. And they have front row seats to watch it all unfold. Every post, every achievement, every smile is a reminder of their mistake. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating, and that monster is living its best life without them. Prosperity as revenge isn't about rubbing it in their faces. It's simpler than that. It's just living well, genuinely well, waking up happy, going to sleep fulfilled, building something meaningful, finding peace in your own company. That's the revenge, because they expected you to barely survive. They expected struggle, chaos, maybe even failure. What they didn't expect was for you to flourish. You disrupt the system by refusing to play the victim they cast you as. Every goal you hit lands different now, not because you're trying to prove something, but because each one represents overcoming what they said was impossible. That promotion they said you'd never get, you got it. That business they said would fail, it's thriving. That happiness they said you didn't deserve, you're swimming in it. The truth hurts them more than any angry confrontation ever could. Your success is louder than their doubts ever were. You're not checking to see if they're watching. That's the beautiful part. Freedom means not caring whether they notice or not. You're building for yourself, creating for yourself, thriving for yourself. But deep down, you know they see it. Social media makes sure of that. And every update, every win, every moment of genuine joy you share is salt in a wound they created themselves. Do it differently. Don't hide your happiness to make them comfortable. The hidden truth reveals itself here. They needed you to fail. Not consciously, maybe, but subconsciously. Your failure validated their decision to abandon you. If you crashed and burned, they were right to leave. If you barely made it, they could feel justified. But you soaring, you thriving beyond what even you imagined, that makes them the villain in a story they thought they left behind. Your pain will turn into strength, and now that strength is building empires, watch how they react to your wins. If they're still in your orbit, you'll see it. The forced smile, the congratulations sound that doesn't reach their eyes, the compliment followed by a subtle jab. That's great, but good for you. I just hope they can't help themselves. Never will they understand that your success has nothing to do with them anymore. You're not competing with them. You're not even playing their game. You've transcended to a different level entirely. Some will try to minimize your achievements. Anyone could do that with enough luck. It's easier now than it used to be. Wait until the real challenges come. They need to believe your success is temporary, accidental, undeserved. Because the alternative, that you earned every bit of it through resistance and courage and pure determination, that's too painful. That makes their abandonment unforgivable. So they rewrite the story, make your wins smaller, your struggles easier, your transformation less impressive. But you know the truth. You lived it. Every sleepless night, every moment of doubt you pushed through, every time you wanted to quit but didn't, every brick you laid in building this new life. Only the strong resist the temptation to respond to their minimization. You don't need to defend your journey. The results speak. The life you built speaks. Your genuine smile speaks louder than any explanation ever could. Show who you are through the life you're living. Your absence from their lives is the gift they didn't know they were giving you. Without their negativity, their doubt, their subtle sabotage, you flourished, like a plant finally getting sunlight after being kept in the shade. Awakening happened when you realized you didn't need their permission to bloom. Break limits that they insisted were permanent. You're proof that the only limits that matter are the ones you accept. And here's what really destroys them. You're happy. Not fake happy, not performing happy. Genuinely, deeply, authentically happy. Authenticity radiates differently when you've earned it through fire. You're not pretending anymore, not putting on a show. You're just being. And that being is powerful, joyful, unstoppable. Rebel by nature. You found joy in places they said it didn't exist. Built peace from pieces they said couldn't be repaired. Created power from pain they inflicted. Every day you wake up thriving is another day they have to live with the choice they made. They could have been part of this, could have supported you, could have witnessed your transformation up close, but they chose differently, and now they're on the outside looking in, watching you build a life so beautiful it hurts them to see it. Comment if this is your reality, because this is the ultimate revenge. Living so well that your life becomes their regret. The monster they created doesn't terrorize them with anger. It haunts them with happiness. Your smile is the ghost of their mistake. Your success is the evidence of their failure. Your peace is the proof that you never needed them. And there's no defense against that. No way to argue with a life well lived. No way to diminish genuine inner strength and joy. You won without fighting. Succeeded without seeking revenge. Thrived without permission. Wake up to life every single day knowing that your prosperity is both your reward and their punishment. Not because you're vindictive, but because truth has consequences. They bet against you. They lost. Simple as that. And the prize you won wasn't just success. It was yourself. The real, unfiltered, powerful version of yourself that was always there, just waiting for them to get out of the way so it could emerge. Freedom tastes better when you've been imprisoned by others. Expectations. you realize something profound about the monster they created. It wasn't a villain. It was a warrior. Every scar they left became armor. Every wound they inflicted became wisdom. Every attempt to break you became a blueprint for how to rebuild yourself stronger. The hidden truth is that the best teachers are often the worst people. They taught you what you're capable of surviving, even if that was never their intention. This transformation didn't happen because you wanted revenge. It happened because you wanted peace. You wanted to look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. You wanted to sleep without nightmares. You wanted to breathe without feeling that weight on your chest. Your pain will turn into strength when you stop using it as an excuse and start using it as fuel. When you stop asking, why me, and start asking, what now? The monster has standards now. Boundaries carved in stone. Non-negotiables that no one gets to debate. You learned the hard way that not everyone deserves access to you. That some people are only in your life to teach you what you won't tolerate. You weren't born to please people who can't appreciate your value. Authenticity means being okay with people not liking the real you. Better to be hated for truth than loved for a lie you're exhausted from maintaining. Only the strong resist the temptation to become what hurt them. You could have turned bitter, could have become toxic yourself, could have used your pain as permission to hurt others. But you didn't. You chose evolution over revenge, transformation over retaliation. You became proof that trauma doesn't have to define you. It can refine you instead, polish you, turn you into something unbreakable. That choice, that's where the real power lives. You carry yourself differently now. There's weight to your presence that wasn't there before. Power earned through suffering hits different than power given freely. You didn't inherit this strength. You bled for it, cried for it, fought for it in the darkness when no one was watching. Show who you are without needing to explain. People feel it. That energy, that quiet confidence, that unspoken message. I survived what was meant to destroy me. Courage redefined itself in your vocabulary. It's not about being fearless anymore. It's about being afraid and moving forward anyway. About choosing growth even when staying small feels safer. About stepping into the unknown after being hurt in the familiar. Awakening isn't a moment, it's a process. Daily. Sometimes hourly, choosing yourself over and over until it becomes automatic, until freedom feels more natural than captivity ever did. The monster doesn't apologize for taking up space anymore, doesn't shrink to accommodate people's discomfort with your growth, doesn't dim its light so others don't feel outshone. Break limits by understanding that your visibility isn't about them. Your success isn't a threat to anyone secure in their own path, and those who feel threatened, that's data. Information, a clear sign of who gets to stay and who needs to go. Never will they understand the peace that comes from unapologetic existence. You disrupt the system by refusing to play victim, by choosing overcoming as a lifestyle, not just a goal, by becoming living evidence that rock bottom can be a foundation. Some people stay broken and wear it like a badge. You stayed broken just long enough to learn how bones heal stronger at the break. Then you stood up. Resistance became your nature, not fighting against them anymore. Fighting for yourself. Fighting for the life you deserve. The peace you earned. The truth hurts, but it also heals. And the truth is, you're not the same person they hurt. That version died in the fire. What emerged from the ashes is something they could never have imagined. Stronger, yes, but also kinder. Somehow. Because you know what it's like to be broken. You're gentler with broken things. Because you know what it's like to need help and have no one show up. You show up for others. The monster has compassion. That's what makes it dangerous. Inner strength became your currency in a world that trades in validation and likes. You stopped measuring your worth by external metrics. Stopped waiting for applause to know you did well. Stopped needing witnesses to verify your transformation. You became your own authority, your own validator, your own source of power. That independence, that self-sufficiency, that's the ultimate freedom. No one can take it because no one gave it. You built it yourself. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. But here's the twist they never saw coming. You don't regret becoming this monster. You're grateful, because this version of you doesn't settle, doesn't accept crumbs, doesn't tolerate disrespect disguised as love. This version knows its worth and won't negotiate it, won't compromise it, won't diminish it for anyone's comfort. Rebel by nature, you wrote your own rules on bones that healed stronger. Wake up to life every day knowing that you're not just surviving anymore. You're creating, building, thriving. And that transformation from victim to victor, from broken to powerful, from lost to found, that's your story. No one can rewrite it. No one can diminish it. No one can take it away. Comment if you've become your own monster. Because that's not a curse. That's an awakening. That's power. That's freedom. The best revenge isn't hurting them back. It's becoming so completely okay, so genuinely happy, so thoroughly healed that their opinion of you becomes irrelevant. Do it differently. Don't seek their approval of your transformation. Don't need them to acknowledge your growth. Just grow. Just transform. Just thrive. And let that be enough. Let your peace be louder than their noise ever was. Let your success speak what your silence won't say. This is what prosperity as revenge really looks like. Not the flashy kind, not the kind you see in movies, the real kind, the quiet, undeniable, sustainable kind. You wake up every morning and choose yourself. Choose your peace. Choose your growth. And that choice, repeated daily, build something they can never tear down. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. And that monster is living proof that you never needed them to succeed. Every achievement now carries different weight. Not because you're proving something to them, but because you're proving something to yourself. That you can, that you will, that nothing they did could stop you from becoming who you were always meant to be. The hidden truth settles in your bones. They were never obstacles. They were filters. Removing themselves from your life was the greatest gift they could have given you. Freedom tastes sweeter when you fought for it. Your pain will turn into strength, and that strength builds empires in silence. While they're busy explaining why you won't make it, you're making it. While they're analyzing your odds, you're defying them. While they're predicting your failure, you're succeeding in ways they can't comprehend. Only the strong resist the urge to announce every win. You move in silence. Let results be the announcement. Let success speak for itself. The best part? You're not doing this for an audience, not performing for validation, not checking to see if they're watching. Authenticity at this level is revolutionary. You're building because building feels good, growing because growth is addictive, thriving because you finally understand that's what you deserve. You weren't born to please spectators, you were born to become, and becoming doesn't require witnesses. Just commitment, just courage, just daily choice to keep going. They will try to stop you, even now, not directly. They learned that doesn't work. They'll use doubt. How long can you really keep this up? They'll use concern. Don't you think you're pushing too hard? They'll use fear. What if it all falls apart? But you see through it. You recognize these voices now, not as truth, as tests. Tests you pass by continuing, by thriving, by refusing to shrink back into the small space they preferred you in. Break limits they insisted were permanent. Awaken to possibilities they said didn't exist for people like you. Show who you are through a life so well lived it becomes an argument they can't debate. The truth hurts more than any confrontation. You're doing better without them than you ever did with them. Your trajectory improved the moment they left. That's data. That's proof. That's reality. They have to live with every day they see you flourishing. Some of them are watching. You know this. Social media makes privacy impossible. And every post, every update, every glimpse into your thriving life is a reminder of their mistake. But here's the evolution. You're not posting for them, not curating content to make them jealous. You're just living, documenting a life you're genuinely proud of, a life you built from ruins. Transformation. This authentic can't be faked. It radiates. Power this earned can't be diminished. It speaks. Never will they understand that your happiness isn't a performance. It's not revenge dressed up as joy. It's actual joy. Hard-earned, deeply felt, authentic joy. You're not pretending to be okay. You are okay. Better than okay. Thriving. And that genuine contentment is more devastating to them than any angry outburst could be. Because it proves they weren't necessary. Proves you didn't need them. Proves their absence was an upgrade, not a loss. You disrupt the system by refusing to stay in the victim role they wrote for you. By choosing overcoming as a lifestyle. By becoming evidence that rock bottom is just another starting point. They expected you to struggle forever, to carry that trauma like a life sentence. But you turned it into a testimony, into fuel, into the foundation of something beautiful. Resistance became your nature, not fighting them anymore. Fighting for yourself, for this life, for this peace. Watch how it affects them. If they're still in your orbit, even peripherally, you'll see it. The forced smile when someone mentions your name. The subject change when your success comes up. The inability to genuinely celebrate your wins. Do it differently. Don't rub it in. Don't gloat. Don't make it about them at all. Just keep thriving. Keep building. Keep becoming. That's the most powerful response. Indifference backed by undeniable success. Your inner strength became the currency that matters. You stopped measuring your worth by their standards. Stopped needing their approval. Stopped waiting for them to acknowledge your growth. You became your own validation, your own cheerleader, your own proof. Awakening happened when you realized the only opinion that matters is the one you have of yourself. And you're finally proud of who you see in the mirror. Finally at peace with who you're becoming. Rebel by nature, you built a life they said was impossible. Found happiness they insisted you didn't deserve. Created peace from pieces they shattered. And you did it without permission, without support, without them. That's the ultimate testimony. Not just that you survived, but that you thrived. That you transformed pain into power, betrayal into boundaries, abandonment into independence, loss into lessons, darkness into light. Comment if this is your story too. Wake up to life every single day knowing that your prosperity isn't just your reward. It's their education, teaching them what they lost, who they underestimated, what they could have been part of if they had chosen differently, but they didn't. And that's not your burden anymore. That's their regret. Your job is just to keep thriving, keep building, keep proving that the best revenge is a life so good it needs no explanation, just existence, just freedom, just you, finally becoming everything you were meant to be. But here's what you paid for this transformation, and nobody talks about this part. The cost. The price of becoming unbreakable is first being completely shattered. The price of inner strength is discovering what you're capable of surviving. The price of freedom is learning to walk alone when everyone you trusted walked away. You weren't born to please, but you learned that lesson through fire, through betrayal, through nights when the loneliness felt terminal. You're not the same person anymore. That's not a metaphor. That's literal truth. The version of you that trusted easily died in the process. The part that believed the best in people bled out slowly over months, maybe years. The innocence, the naivety, the willingness to be vulnerable without armor, that's gone. The hidden truth they don't mention in motivational posts. You win, but you lose something too. You gain power, but you surrender softness. You achieve strength, but innocence becomes a casualty. You look at people differently now. Everyone's a potential threat until proven otherwise. Every new connection comes with suspicion. Every compliment gets analyzed for hidden meaning. Every invitation gets questioned for ulterior motive. Never will they understand what it's like to rebuild trust from absolute zero. To have your belief in humanity so thoroughly demolished that you have to reconstruct it piece by careful piece. The monster isn't cruel, but it's cautious, protective, guarded in ways the old you never needed to be. Some days you miss who you were before, that person who could love without fear, Who could trust without verification? Who could hope without hedging bets? Your pain will turn into strength. Yes. But that doesn't mean you don't mourn what the pain took from you. The lightness, the ease, the ability to move through the world without always looking over your shoulder. Transformation gave you armor, but armor is heavy. You carry it everywhere now. Can't take it off even when you want to. The relationships you build now are different, more selective, more boundaried. You don't let people in easily anymore. Can't, won't. The walls you built to protect yourself while you healed, those walls became permanent architecture. Only the strong resist the urge to wall everyone out completely. You leave a door, small, heavily guarded, reserved for the rare few who prove they deserve access. But it's nothing like the open house you used to run, where everyone was welcome and you assumed the best until proven otherwise. They will try to stop you from acknowledging this cost. The motivation industry wants you to believe transformation is all sunshine and victory, that you come out the other side purely better. But that's not honest. You come out different. Stronger, yes. More capable, absolutely. But also scarred. Also changed in ways you didn't choose. Also carrying wounds that healed wrong and ache when the weather changes. The truth hurts because it's complex. You won, but winning had a price. And some days you're still paying it. You can't unsee what you've seen. Can't unknow what you know about human nature. About how quickly people abandon ship when storms hit. About how conditional most love really is. About how many relationships are transactional underneath the pretty words. Awakening sounds enlightening until you realize it means you can never go back to sleep. Never return to that blissful ignorance. You disrupt the system by seeing through it. But seeing through it means you see through everything now. Even the good things come with analysis, with caution, with what's the catch? The monster they created isn't just powerful, it's lonely. Not because you can't find people, but because you can't find people who understand, who've been where you've been, who carry similar scars, who speak the language of survival fluently. Most people are still playing checkers. You're playing chess because you had to learn or die, and finding another chess player in a world of checkers. That's rare. Authenticity means you can't fake understanding you don't feel. Can't pretend to connect where connection doesn't exist. Stop seeking approval sounds empowering until you realize it means you're operating completely alone. No validation, no external confirmation, just you, trusting your judgment, hoping you're not as broken as you sometimes feel. Courage is waking up every day and choosing to believe in yourself when past evidence suggests maybe you shouldn't trust your judgment about people. Maybe your picker is broken, maybe you'll choose wrong again, but you choose anyway because the alternative is never choosing at all, never risking, never living. Some nights you wonder if it was worth it, if becoming this strong, this independent, this self-sufficient was worth losing the ability to be soft without fear. Break limits sounds revolutionary until you realize you broke them because you had no choice. It was evolve or die, transform or disappear. Overcoming wasn't optional. It was survival. And survival mode, once activated, doesn't have an off switch. You're always scanning, always prepared, always ready for the next betrayal, the next abandonment, the next person who proves temporary. But then morning comes, and you look at what you built. This life, this peace, this version of yourself that can't be broken anymore because there's nothing left to break. And you make peace with the cost. Your absence will build a monster they'll regret creating. And yes, that monster is scarred. But it's also unstoppable. It's also free. It's also capable of things the old you could never have imagined. The price was high. But what you gained, freedom from needing anyone, power that's entirely yours, strength nobody can take. Maybe it was worth it after all. Do it differently. Don't pretend the cost wasn't real. Don't Instagram filter your transformation to make it prettier than it was. Honor what you lost. Mourn who you were. Acknowledge the scars. Rebel by nature means rebelling against toxic positivity too. Against the pressure to be grateful for trauma just because you survived it. You can be proud of who you've become and still wish the path had been different. Both things can be true. Resistance includes resisting simplified narratives about complex experiences. The monster looks in the mirror and sees both victory and loss, sees power purchased with innocence, sees strength bought with softness, sees freedom traded for ease, and makes peace with the exchange. Not because it was fair, because it was necessary, because given the choice between staying breakable and becoming unbreakable, survival chose for you. Inner strength came at the cost of easy trust. Awakening came at the cost of comfortable ignorance. Transformation came at the cost of who you were. And you can't decide if that's tragedy or triumph. Maybe it's both. Comment if you understand this price. Because the people who don't get it will tell you to just get over it. Just move on. Just be grateful you're stronger now. But you know better. You know strength this deep has roots that run through pain. You know power this earned carries memories of powerlessness. You know freedom this fought for remembers what captivity felt like. The cost was real. The scars are permanent. And acknowledging that doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you honest. Wake up to life means waking up to all of it. The victory and the cost, the transformation and what it took, the monster and the person who had to die to create it.